Good day, Graydon. So how are you today? Again, congratulations. We are done with the second quarter and now we are on the third week of the third quarter. And also next week would be our holiday break. So congrats everyone. And for this week lesson, we are going to discuss linear and non-linear text. So are you ready? So let's start by identifying what is linear text and what is non-linear text. So first is linear text. So this is the most common type of text that need to be read from beginning to an end. So it focuses on the arrangement of the words both grammatically or rather and stylistically. So generally, the texts are printed on a paper like for example, speech, story, letter, newspaper report, and many. So those are considered linear text. Also novels, poems, short stories, educational text. Okay, those are some examples of linear text. Okay. While non-linear text, okay, these are text combined with visual elements. So the reading path is non-sequential. So it means that the readers here do not have to go through the text in a sequential manner in order to make sense of the text. Like for example, pictures, it uses pictures, graphs, tables, and graphic organizers. So let's have some examples for you to understand linear and non-linear text. All right, so here are some examples of linear and non-linear text. So the first one is linear text. So it can be a story or a novel, while the non-linear text, it uses graphs. Okay, so you don't have to read it from the beginning until the end. Let's take a look with the comparison of linear text and non-linear text. So as I have said earlier, linear text refers to traditional text that needs to be read from beginning to the end, while non-linear text, it refers to the text that does not need to be read from beginning to the end. Next, the reading path. There is only one reading path which is decided by the author. So like for example, when you are reading a novel or a story or a poem, you cannot start from the end or from the middle, right? So you have to start from the beginning. That is linear text. While in non-linear text, there are multiple reading paths. They are determined by the reader. It's up to you when to start reading because it is, or rather it uses graphs, lines, and other flowcharts, graphic organizers, something like that. Okay, next, the context. So linear text, it typically includes printed text, while nonlinear text, it includes digital text. So it can be a drawing, a picture, and illustrations. Okay, so that is non-linear text. Next, efficiency. So linear text, it may take time to find the information readers are searching for, while in non-linear text, it allows readers to find more efficiently, right? So examples of linear text are novels, poems, letters, textbooks, newspaper articles, while nonlinear text examples are flowcharts, okay, knowledge maps, and encyclopedias. And we will be and we will be focusing this lesson with non-linear text. Again, nonlinear text includes visuals or graphs along with its examples. So it includes flowcharts, graph, pie chart, bar graph, graphic organizers, knowledge maps, or story maps. And let's discuss it one by one. First, let's have the charts or graphs. So these are the graphical representation of data. So it is represented by symbols or legends. So it used is the understanding of large quantities of data and show the relationships of the data. So charts or graphs are representation of data represented by symbols or legends. And let's have some types or kinds of charts or graphs. So first is line graph. So it is a common type of chart which displays information as a series of data points connected by straight line segments to show trends. So it is a graphical display of information that changes continuously over time. So that is line graphs. And look at the picture below. It is an example of line graphs. Next, we have the bar graph. So it is also a common type of chart which presents the data with rectangular bars that differ in their sizes. So it is usually scaled so all the data could fit on the charts. So a bar graph may run vertically or horizontally. So the important thing to know is the longer the bar, the greater the value. So like for example here, we have color of cars, so black, blue, red, silver, and white. And on the left side, it is a number of cars. So silver has the longer bar. That means a lot of people choose silver as the color of their car. So that is bar graphs. Next is the pie graph. So a circular chart which is divided into slices or portions to illustrate proportion. So it shows the breakdown of items in a set as percentages by rather presenting them as a slices of pie. So the key to a pie chart is that all of the slices must equal to 100%. Okay, so we have here an example, population of countries of the European Union in 2007 by percentage. So we have the red, that is Germany, the blue is the France, the yellow is the United Kingdom, and so on. All right, so it is an example of pie graphs. So next is histogram. So it is a graphical distribution of numerical data. So it has no gaps between the bars. And also, it is similar in appearance to a bar chart, but instead of comparing categories or looking for trends over time, each bar represents how data is distributed in a single category. So we have here example heights of 30 people. Okay, so it looks like a bar chart. Okay. So we are done with charts and graphs. Now let's have the flow chart. So what is a flow chart? So it is simply a graphical representation of steps. So it shows steps in sequential order and is widely used in presenting the flow of algorithms and workflow of processes. So typically a flowchart shows the steps as boxes of various kinds and their order by connecting them with arrows. So flowcharts. So nowadays, flowcharts play an extremely important role in displaying information and assisting reasoning. So they help us visualize complex processes. So that is flow chart. Now let's take a look with some examples of flow chart. So the first one is steps in baking cake. So as you can see, it uses arrows to indicate the next step. So start, then followed by the arrow, next step, okay, and next, the other example is how to boil rice. Okay, so those are the steps on how to boil rice. So it uses flowcharts to make you understand the process or steps. Okay, so in nonlinear text, we also use graphic organizers. So what are graphic organizer. So let's find out on the next slide. Graphic organizer, also called as concept map. Okay, so it is a communication tool that uses visual symbols to express knowledge, concepts or thoughts, and the relationships between them. So it provides a visual aid to facilitate learning and instruction. So that is graphic organizer. And let's have some examples of graphic organizer. So first we have the Venn diagram. I know you are very familiar with Venn diagram or with the graphic organizer because you are using it with your math subject, right? Okay, so Venn diagram, it introduced by John Venn in 1890. So it is a diagram that shows all possible logical relationships between a set of items. Also, it compromises two overlapping circles. So it is a visual depiction of similarities and differences between two or more different items. So that is Venn diagram. So we have here an example of Venn diagram. So the differences of whales and fish and the similarities. So you are in using Venn diagram, you are comparing and contrasting to whales and fish. And the overlapping circle is the similarities between the whales and the fish. Okay, so that is Venn diagram. Next, we have the concept diagram. So it is a diagram that depicts suggested relationships between concepts. So typically, it represents ideas and information as boxes and circles and uses lines to show the relationship between them. So when you draw a concept map, you are actually creating a visual image of that subject, okay? That is concept diagram. And here is an example of concept diagram. So again, it is a visual that you can analyze to check your understanding of a subject. So concept maps are superior in that sense, or rather because not only they improve processing of facts, but also understanding of facts. So that is concept diagram, all right? And that is all about linear and non-linear text. So that's all for today, grade 10. See you on Wednesday. Again, this is Teacher Mitch, your English teacher, saying excellence is not a skill. It is an attitude. Bye, everyone. Have a wonderful day.